and codes g2a.com is the place for you. Link is also in the description. What's going on, everyone? My name is Ovi and welcome to a new FIFA 19 tutorial on the channel. It's finally here, guys, the FIFA 19 defending tutorial. And before we get started, make sure to smash the like button if you want to see next on the channel a best attacking custom tactics video. If we manage to hit 1000 likes on this video, in that precise moment, bang, Ovi will upload the best attacking custom tactics in FIFA 19. We're gonna start the defending tutorial with some basics and afterwards move to the advanced, guys. First of all, let's see the controls, guys. How do you perform a standing tackle, and most importantly, when should you perform it? It's pretty easy, guys. You just press the shot button on your controller. Standing tackles should be performed when your player is close to the opponent. Next, we've got the sliding tackle, and all you have to do in order to perform this type of defending move is press the crossing button on your controller. Use this type of defending technique when your player is a bit further from the opponent, as you are seeing in this example. Now, guys, maybe the most overpowered technique at the beginning of the game to defend is containing with your player. And in order to contain with your player, you will have to press and hold X on your PlayStation controller or A on your Xbox One controller. Your player will mirror the movements of the opponent, and if the opponent makes a bad movement somehow, the ball goes a bit too much in front comparing to his position, your player will make an automatic tackle, will grab the ball from the opponent. But this type of technique, guys, I think is overpowered, especially at the beginning of the game, because afterwards, when we discover the ins and outs of the game and we see how to attack more efficiently, this type of technique is not that overpowered. And this brings us to the way you should be defending, by using the jockey movement. What can you do exactly by using the jockey movement, and why is it so important? Well, your player wins in aggressivity. It's so important that your player does that, because when the opponent gets close to him, you've got full control over your player, moving him left, right. It's much more precise, and in order to do the jockey movement, you will have to press and hold L2 on your PlayStation controller or LT on your Xbox One. As I told you, your player gets much more aggressive when near the opponent. Next basic defending technique, guys, is the teammate contain, and you can perform that by pressing and holding R1 on your PlayStation controller or RB on your Xbox One controller. What does this technique do? Well, one of your teammates, you can see the cursor over the head of that player, will put pressure on the opponent. And before getting to the second part of this tutorial, the advanced one, we also need to talk about the right analog switch. Extremely important, guys. If you didn't know, you can use the right analog, and if you move it up, down, left, right, you can select which player you will use to defend. So it's not up to the AI to select the next player that you are going to use. It's also up to you if you use the right analog switch. Now, guys, for the second part of this video, this is decision making, and this is how great defenders are born, by taking the right decisions in the right moments. And the only way you can learn this is from experience, playing a lot of games, or from these following examples. First of all, guys, let's see this one here. My opponent is going on a counter attack, and somehow he has the perfect space, enough over there to play a through ball to the striker. My only chance to stop that is to use the player and do a sliding tackle, but I'm not gonna do the sliding tackle towards my opponent. I'm gonna close the gap between him and the striker by doing a sliding tackle in that direction. That way I stop the ball and I stop a dangerous counter attack. Next example, guys, closing down the gaps. I have selected Pogba. I'm using the teammate contain to put pressure on the winger, and his only move, his most probable move, is to try and play a pass at the striker. In that moment, I cover that gap with Pogba and I get the ball. Another fine example of closing gaps in defense is also this one. as you can see, first of all, I try to protect the central area and I try to intercept the ball, hoping that he will make a pass to the central striker. In the moment when I see that doesn't happen and I see that he plays a pass to his other central midfielder, I change position quickly and then I run directly into that area, covering the gap, doing a standing tackle and pushing away the striker. I'm gonna continue with these examples of closing gaps in defense because they are so important. For example, here my opponent is on a counter attack, he's on the wing, and at this moment he has the upper hand. What do I do here? Do I select the center back and try to cover gaps with him? No, never, guys. I do select my central midfielder. I've got Pogba, and I'm gonna make him run back, try to close the gap between the center backs and him, of course. While I do that, I also select the teammate contain to use my center back and make him press over my opponent on the wing. The result is superb, guys, and somehow I find the perfect balance between closing down gaps and also using the teammate contain again to close down gaps and win the ball. Here, even though I have 2 players of mine and he has 1 winger, I do not use the teammate contain that much at first, because if I would do that, I would end up having both of my players on the winger, and then the other player that he has in that area of the field will be open. He will be available for a pass, so I just keep switching between my 2 players and I wait for the perfect moment right here, and then I go with the teammate contain and use both of my players to close down on the opponent, and eventually I grab the ball and win the duel. That's exactly what happens in our next example right here. I keep switching between one defender and the other defender until I force my opponent into a dead area of the pitch. In that moment, again using the teammate contain, I win the ball easily. These examples are quite often, especially on the wing, guys, because that is exactly what you need to do. Use the teammate contain, use the player that you are controlling into forcing the opponent into a dead angle. In that moment, use both of your players to pressure him and win the ball. This right here is again a classic of closing gaps, guys. This is a default movement that almost always you should try. When the ball goes to the winger, use the teammate contain to pressure him, and in the same time select your central midfielder. After you've selected him, the most likely pass that your opponent will do is to the central attacking midfielder or to the central midfielder. Wait for the pass to leave and then pressure the opponent. You're gonna win it easily. Check this scenario right here. He is in a very good position, guys. He's got a passing opportunity, but he misses it. He keeps the ball just 1 second more than it should happen, and look what happens next. He is cornered by my technique with the teammate contain and with the player that I've been controlling by using the jockey movement. In the same time, I also find the perfect moment to push him away from the ball by using the shooting button. Another moment of classy defending is this one right here. I see that my opponent will play a long pass towards the winger. I select, using the right analog, my right back. I cover the ground there. Afterwards, I deselect him. I select my center back. I still use teammate contain in order for my fullback to put pressure on the winger, and as you can see, he has no opportunity, nowhere to pass the ball, eventually losing it. I could go on with these examples forever, guys. In my opinion, this is how you will improve at defending. You either play a lot of games and know everything about the game, or you learn decision making by watching these examples. Decision making, in my opinion, is the thing that makes the difference between a common defender, a normal player that defends using the contain button only, and the classy defenders, the top-notch players that know how to defend, how to pressure, how to track runs, and how to close gaps. If you've got any questions about defending, leave a comment below and let me know. Drop a like if you would like me to continue with these defending tutorials in which I show decision making, as I told you, most important thing in defending, in which I present you examples and how to defend in those scenarios. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more FIFA 19 videos. Follow me on Twitter for the latest updates. My name is Ovi and I'll see you guys later.